what I eat in a day, but even more than that, not only at what I eat in a day to support my nervous system as someone who practices food freedom, but also just like how I eat through the day and even like why I choose certain things to eat during the day. And this is a really imperfect, very real day of eating. Actually, it didn't go as planned at all. And a big part of eating to support our nervous system is rolling with it. Let's go ahead and get into it right now. I'm going to do a what I eat in a day video as someone who believes in food freedom, but also eats in a way to support my nervous system. So I do believe in eating foods that are nutritionally dense, foods that help us feel really well. I just don't believe in being really restrictive, okay? And so I need to go to the grocery store. So I'm gonna have you go with me. I did have some eggs this morning. I didn't get the video of it, sorry. And because I kind of just decided to do this. So I had eggs this morning. I am having a coffee, and my husband is on the way back from one of my favorite bakeries with a dairy-free, gluten-free muffin and a green juice. And so I will show that to you when he gets back. He's taking forever. And then we'll get dressed and I will take you to the store with me where we will get some food because we need some food to nourish the body and to take really great care of ourselves. So, all right, let's go. My husband finally came back with my dairy-free, gluten-free muffin and my green juice. And I love a good green juice. This one is called the Refresher, and it is so refreshing. And then the muffin, I'm not gluten-free. I do eat gluten without an issue, but I am lactose intolerant. So I always appreciate dairy-free options. I can take some lactate, of course, but it's just really nice not to have to, right? To just be able to eat the baked good or whatever it is without taking that lactate and still feeling good. And doing a little handstand here. I consistently try to practice handstand. I'm very imperfect at it, but I have so much fun in it and I find so much joy in just getting upside down. It's been just such a, Jefferson likes it too. And then we decided, you know what, it's raining, but we're going outside, and he hates his raincoat. He hates it, but look how cute he is. I love his raincoat. And so Jeffy Boo Boo has to get his raincoat on, and we take some time. We go outside and move our bodies a little bit. We do a little time in nature, and at this point the rain had stopped, and so we got to just kind of be out there for a little bit, just enjoying the grass and the trees. And of course, he had to take his potty breaks. He's so cute, and getting some of his energy out. All right, so these were some fun clips. I want to rewind a little bit. I'm not going to rewind the actual clips, but I want to take a moment to pause and explain some of why behind what you just saw in terms of like someone who practices food freedom, but also really prioritizes supporting her nervous system. All right. So the first thing is you didn't get to see my eggs, but they were just eggs. I fry them in olive oil and I use my cast iron pan. I love the cast iron pan, and I fry them in a good amount of olive oil. Sometimes I'll have some kale with it or some fruit with it. This morning, I just had the eggs in the olive oil. And I specifically had that before I had my coffee. This impacts my nervous system big time. If I drink coffee without food in my belly, I I don't feel well. Like my nervous system does not receive that caffeine well. I also have a glass of water. So you didn't see that either. I have a glass of water before I have coffee as well. So I usually eat the eggs or whatever it is, then I'll have a glass of water and then I will enjoy my coffee. Sometimes I'll even have more than that. I don't have like a certain set amount it's just I know I need to eat food, and it depends on how hungry I am when I wake in the morning. So again, this morning it was some eggs fried in olive oil, and then I had my coffee, and that just stabilizes things for me. It helps my nervous system just feel more grounded and more stable so I can really enjoy the coffee. And then also when Tyler came back, when my husband came back with the muffin and the green juice, I wasn't ravenous. Whereas if I had had nothing and I had only had the coffee, I would be ravenous. I wouldn't be able to slow down and enjoy and savor the muffin the way I was able to, because I just wasn't ravenous. Like, I was just like, this tastes really good. I'm enjoying this, but there wasn't an urgency within the eating experience. And then you saw me get upside down with the green juice. Well, not that would dump all over my face, but you know what I mean? I love weaving in movement. I'm really big on weaving in movement. I am also all for, if you're somebody that likes to get up and go to the gym and have that structured scheduled time, I think that's fantastic. And I do go through seasons of that. But when my life gets really full, I find weaving in movement just really works best for me. And especially when I'm trying to practice something like handstand, which has been a journey I've been on for a while. I am part of a handstand course, and I do that course material, and that's fun. But I also just kind of weave it in. I'm like, I feel like getting upside down. So then I'll flop upside down on the wall, play around with it a little bit. Jefferson always likes it. He always drives me a little bit crazy. Keeping movement light and easeful and fun has been so regulating for my nervous system, and taking that like sprinkle it in approach to movement. And I take the sprinkle it in approach with my breath work practices as well. I talk about that a lot. And then getting outside, right? Of course, I do have to get outside because I got a dog and there's no choice, but I would anyways. I do consistently, no matter what the weather is, try to just get outside throughout the day to take in some fresh air, to see nature around me. This is very grounding for my nervous system, very regulating for me. And so it's something that I really do prioritize. So the next clip you're going to see is where I let you know things are not going as planned. And it is gray out. It's actually pretty gray again today. Not as gray, but it's pretty gray out in this moment. The lighting's not great. Let's roll with it. Let's see what Eileen has to say here. All right, so change of plans. I'm not going to make it to the store today. So obviously, I'm still going to take you along with me throughout the day with what I eat. I'm actually going to prep some stuff for lunch because I don't really have anything made. So I'm going to just kind of see what I have, put something together, and I will share that with you. I mean, I would actually share it and give you the food if I could reach through the screen and give you that, but I can't do it. So I'll share with you what I come up with. And we're just going to roll with it because sometimes that's just what we need to do. And that is a really important part of supporting our nervous system, is not getting frazzled when things don't go the way that we have planned, right? The way we planned or we want them to go, because a lot of times it's just not going to happen that way. So a really wonderful way to support our nervous system with food is to kind of roll with it, right? And to also know that we always have new eating experiences. So even if maybe we wanted something specific and it just doesn't happen, it can happen in the future. All right, but let's see what I can put together based on what I already have in the house. All right, so we're putting together something based on what I have in the house. And I realized I actually had a lot more in the house, right, than I thought I did. And I think that happens quite often. We're chopping up some sweet potatoes. Of course, I scrub those right down, get them nice and clean. And then I chop them up on my well-seasoned pan. And then I put a good dose of olive oil on it, right? I used to fear fat. I used to be so scared of fat. And I'm telling you, adding fat to my diet, nutrient dense fat, lots of olive oil, lots of almonds, lots of avocado, has really healed my nervous system. I'm doing some chopping here. My husband held the camera. You can see the nice view. I need to figure out the tripod thing. And then I took, you can see here, I have some peppers, and I did save some for later. I did all that prep. So I'm going to save some of it for later. And that helps support the nervous system as well. If I'm prepping food anyways, I'm going to have some leftovers another time, or I'm going to prep those veggies to have another time. And voila, this is the delicious meal I put together. We have sauteed kale. We have sweet potatoes. I love a good sweet potato. We have guacamole, leftover chicken that I had already in the fridge, and mango. And the mango and the guacamole complement so well. We also have the caramelized onions and peppers. And this was just such a nice, nutrient dense, really satisfying with the oil on it meal. It tasted so good, and it made my body and my nervous system feel so good. And that is really important. Rather than focusing on following a diet just to follow the rules, think about eating in a way just so that you feel really well, so you can go out and do the things that you love to do. And of course, I did a little spin drift with the lunch. I love spin drift. I like seltzer water also, but it does kind of like the bubbliness just doesn't feel super comfy on my belly. It causes a little bit of indigestion. And the spin drift has a little bit of natural juice in it. So for me, that feels really, I really like that. And I also like the taste of it. And so here I'm just eating that delicious meal, a little dancy wancy. I do actually dance a little bit sometimes. If something's really good, I'm going to give a little jiggle, a little jaggle, a little dance, and a little sea salt on top, right? A little pink Himalayan sea salt. And yeah, just really taking time, sitting down. Don't usually have a camera on me. So I don't usually have a camera on me while I'm eating. So that's a little different. But I do make sure when I am able that I sit down and I actually enjoy and savor my food. I might even do a little breathing before I eat. Just take a few nice, slow, deep breaths and really ground myself, feel the support beneath me, feel the fork or spoon in my hand, and take time with the eating process. Okay. Even if you just take 20 minutes, it makes a very big difference on your digestion and just how you're feeling and how you're actually eating the food. And of course, more walkies, a little walkie in the woods here, just a little change up, something a little different, getting some more fresh air in, getting some movement in, mostly for Jefferson at this point. I didn't really want to go out in the rain, but I did end up feeling really good after our walk time together. So that's regulating, right? Sometimes the regulating thing isn't like what we want to do, but we know it's going to be good for us, so we do it anyways. And you can tell if something was regulating for your nervous system based on how you feel when the activity ends. And then when I came in, I made myself a hot chocolate, and this one it's a mushroom hot chocolate, right? And it's made by Rasa. I'm not sponsored by them, not at the time of this, but I do love their products. I will say I really love all their adaptogen drinks, and this one's their mushroom hot chocolate. And I do use Fairlife whole milk. I actually bought this for when I make lattes with my new espresso machine. I really just like the way whole milk froths up when I can get it. I'm still working on that, but when I can get that froth, I like how it froths up. So that's what I had on hand for the hot chocolate. Sometimes I use oat milk. Fairlife I use because I'm lactose intolerant, and that's why. Nothing against regular milk, just for my body, I can process it much easier. Did a little blending here. And you'll notice this hot chocolate doesn't get like a super chocolatey dark color. It is still so delicious. And I'm telling you, I do feel more grounded and more relaxed after drinking it, and after being cold outside. It was just really nice to have something cozy. And that is part of that pleasure, right? Permission, right? To be cozy and to nurture ourselves. And that's important for our regulation. And of course, then I did a little bit of yoga. I did about a 20-minute session. I didn't really follow anything. It was more of a freestyle yoga session based on just what my body was asking for movement. And it felt really good. I do end with a little bit of the 4-6 breathing that I teach in the Calm Reset practice. I love that breath practice. And I especially like pairing it with doing a little movement before. So as you see, I'm just kind of going through my flow, making it up on the spot based on what feels good for my body. And then I love to just sit and do some rounds of that 4-6 breathing where I'm inhaling in through my nose for 4 and I'm exhaling out through my nose or mouth, depending on what my body's needing for that 6. count. And so for me, that's such a supportive rhythm that I've done for a really long time on repeat. And if you want the Calm Reset practice, you can totally get it for free. I'll pin it in the comments, grab it, start playing around with that. It will have a very big impact on your nervous system and your relationship with food. All right, just a little pause before we continue to move forward into my day. So a little bit of what we already saw, right? The navigation of, just breakfast and lunch and taking the dog out and being outside a little bit, and then some hot cocoa and some movement of the body, some yoga. What's important to understand here is, for me, what works best is having a loose plan throughout my day, but not having like a really rigid routine. For me, a rigid routine, I actually really rebel against that. So I knew that I was going to move my body in some way. I didn't totally know like what I was going to do. Probably was going to be yoga, but I knew that I had an intention to move my body in some way. And I knew the window that I would be able to do that in. And when I was doing the yoga, that was my window, right? And that was the window where I just had the time to do that. And so for me, that really works. Rather than having a really rigid routine, kind of like a have to, I did that before. I was really addicted to exercise and I was really rigid. I already did that. My body, my nervous system remembers that, and it does push away from it. So part of my healing has been just a nice loose schedule, but I know that moving my body is going to make me feel well. I have this window of an opening, and in that opening I say, hey, like, what do I want to do? I'll usually put music on, and I'll either do weights. Sometimes I'll take a nice long walk with music in my ears, and sometimes I'll do yoga to music, sometimes I'll dance. And so I did just want to share that. Doesn't come from a place of I have to. It really, at this point in my life, comes from a place of I get to. And if you are struggling with consistent exercise, I'm going to encourage you to try to bring that mindset in, right? That mindset of, how can I make this an I get to rather than an I have to? And it's okay for the movement to feel good, right? Every time we exercise, it doesn't have to be super hardcore. Or it's fine to challenge the body and have it be hard sometimes. That's good for us. But it's also totally okay to do movement that just feels really good. And that's what that practice was for me. And then, yes, I did some of the breathing after, and I wanted to make a note on that. The grounding practices, the breathwork practices, if you are someone that find yourself in go mode a lot, it feels hard to slow down, it feels hard to be still, I'm going to encourage you to try to move your body before you do your breath work or your meditation or your grounding practice. So if you have the Calm Reset and it's been challenging to say yes to, plan to do it after you take a walk or after you lift weights or after you do some yoga. Let your body and your nervous system get some of that out, right? Just move a little bit, meet that sympathetic state with the movement, right? Because if you're already in a sympathetic state from being in go mode, when we exercise and we lift some weights or we go for a run or we go for an intense walk, we're in that sympathetic state. We're meeting that state, and then it becomes much easier to start to down regulate. So I wanted to share that with you. Now, as we continue into the day, the next clip you're going to see, I'm in the truck with my husband. We went to Home Depot. Okay. And now I know, like, why did I go to Home Depot? Why did I go to Home Depot? He wanted me to look at a few things. We're doing some yard work, some projects. And that's why at the beginning, I don't know if you saw him out the window when I was talking, but he was cutting down trees. The trees are not good. I love trees. Okay, I love trees, but these trees they're dying. They really need to come down because they're becoming a hazard. So we had to go to Home Depot to look at some stuff for landscaping. And I sound like a landscaper. I'm not a landscaper, just doing some stuff in the yard. And it took way longer than planned. So let's start to watch that. And I'll probably pause again to really explain things because the clips are short and I don't want to talk a million miles an hour throughout them. All right, so here we are in the truck heading to the Home Depot. You'll see I'm drinking water. I do drink water consistently throughout the day. I didn't really show that, But all throughout the day, I'm drinking water. Little baby Jeffy Boo Boo is snuggling with me. This is probably one of my favorite parts of riding the truck is that Jefferson will snuggle with me. And you'll see I just cut to dark in the truck. Dark in the truck. Let me pause and tell you why it was all of a sudden really dark. You're probably like, Eileen, because it's like nighttime. No, well, yeah. But also, Home Depot took way longer than planned. We both also accidentally left our wallets at home. So we get to the Home Depot and we have to turn around and go all the way back and get our wallets and then go all the way back to the Home Depot. And so it like just became this really long event. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I got overly hungry. Actually, like we all did. Okay. We all got overly hungry. And it's important to know that's going to happen sometimes. So one of the things I do talk about is eating consistently, nourishing our body consistently, right? That keeps us from getting ravenous, from overly hungry. And that is important, but real life happens, okay? Real life happens. And so we need to release this idea that we're going to do things perfectly and we're never going to be overly hungry because you're going to be. We're human. And so I did like that more darker night sky in the truck. I was friggin' hungry. I was friggin' hungry. And I was like thinking, all right, there's no way I'm going to go home and make food. I'm not going to go and make food. So we actually we're like, so what could we get for takeout? We had the kids in the car and like, what can we get for takeout? That sounds good. Just makes things easier. And this is an important part from the nervous system perspective. Sometimes making the choice that's more easeful, even if it's less nutrient dense, is the healthier option. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes making the choice that's more easeful, even if it's less nutrient dense, is the healthier option because it reduces stress in the situation and it reduces stress in the body. All right. So we ended up going for pizza. All right. And pizza for me is kind of like, I don't know, I'm lactose intolerant, so I did have to take Lactaid with the pizza, but everybody else in my home loves pizza. Okay. They love it. It's just easy. The kids are happy. The husband's happy and I can eat it. I just got to take the Lactaid and find a little bit of a balance with it. Not a balance from a diet mindset, a balance from my body's needs. So I'm going to share that with you now. Let's go ahead and see the pizza that we got. And it was really good. So we went with a white pizza, and this pizza has like I don't even know, like a garlic sauce and parsley and crushed red pepper. I love crushed red pepper. And we did kombucha. I love kombucha. We got like a blueberry ginger kombucha that we actually had in the fridge. And you'll also see that I made some side salads here. And again, that's a balance I'm talking about. The balance isn't coming from the diet mentality. It's not I have to like save calories. No, it's I want my body to feel well. And so that's where that balance comes in, where I made these really nice, vibrant salads and I added avocado and I added extra virgin olive oil, just those nice nutrient dense fats to support my nervous system. And I enjoyed it with my family. We watched a movie. We're like, we're just going to watch a movie and relax. Peace in our environment, peace in our body, peace in our system matters. Nourishment beyond the plate matters. And I was actually so satisfied that I didn't even really want dessert. Totally could have had dessert. I'm fine with having dessert. I like dessert. And I think that would have been a really cool clip to show you, but I just was really satisfied and I didn't really want dessert. And so that was what I eat in a day when a day that didn't go planned. I didn't show you every clip of my day. I also did some like cleaning of my house and, just some stuff like that. It was the weekend, so I didn't really work, but I did some cleaning in the house, helped with some yard stuff. I didn't show every clip, but I hope this gave you an idea of just some of the ways that you can nurture your nervous system. You can bring in that gentle nutrition. You can practice food freedom. You can move your body in a way that brings in freedom. I hope this was encouraging to you. Again, this was real life. This was my first, like what I eat in a day, why I eat in a day, and how this is my first time. I'm learning as I go, but I hope you had fun with this. And I hope that it gave you even a nugget that you can take away and apply that's going to feel life-giving for you. And if you have not grabbed my totally free Calm Reset practice, that practice I was doing right there at the end of my yoga video, if you haven't grabbed that yet, go to the comments, grab it, practice it. If you're confused by anything, which I don't think you will be, but if you have any questions about it, send me an email, because I'll email you the practice and you can just send me an email right back. I really do reply to the emails. I love hearing from you guys. And so I truly hope this was helpful for you. And I look forward to making another video for you very soon.